Today I wanted to give a brief introduction in how to participate in a Zoom call. So when you click on the link that was provided to you, you will launch a screen. Now you may be asked to open that item and it'll launch this, but that's going to be what allows you to see the visuals. Now you'll notice as I move my mouse around towards the bottom of the screen that I'm able to see a number of items. And the most important item is going to be this mute and unmute button. So you know that you're muted when you see that red cross. Now, if there is no red cross and you are still muted or people are complaining they can't hear you, there's a couple of things you can do. One is if your headset has a mute-unmute button on it, make sure that your headset itself is unmuted. The second thing to check is you'll notice that when I move my mouse around and these icons appear, right next to that mute and unmute is a little arrow. So when I click on that, this is going to allow me to see what I'm using for a microphone and what I'm using for a speaker. So in my case, this MPAL HC is my headset microphone setup. If I'm seeing something else like Realtek audio on my machine tends to be the computer's speakers and microphone, I can move that so that it is correct. You'll also notice that there's a test, and it's going to play a ringtone, so I can say, yes, I heard it. And then if I speak, I'll know whether or not the microphone works. So those are a couple of things that you can do to make sure that you're seen or that you're heard, and also that you can hear what people are doing. The other item is video. And I find for bandwidth, and also if you're nervous about being seen on screen, you can start and stop your video. To start and stop your video, go ahead and click that camera and that'll show you on video. So there's me. And then to be unseen on video, I can hit that camera button as well. Whoever is hosting is going to tell you what I call the rules of engagement are. So at the beginning of any session, they're going to set expectations in regards to how you're going to participate. One of the more common ways people participate is in chat. And so to see the chat, I just click the chat button. And I'm going to move this over a little bit. And so this gives me the chat. And at the bottom, I can type a message. And you'll notice that it's seen by everyone. So this is a drop down. So when I click the arrow next to the drop down, if there's more people in there, it'll also tell me, like I'm in this one by myself for filming purposes, but by clicking that drop down, I can send the chat to specific people or to the moderator or host. And I want to do that before I send it if I don't want my chat to be seen by everybody. When I'm ready, I can hit the enter button and it'll tell me that I sent it, and it'll tell me where it went. Over here on the far right hand side, you'll see a more button. So because I'm the host, I'll be able to also set it so that people are only chatting to the host. But that's a host thing. So if you're only seeing the host there, that's because that's how the meeting was set. So feel free to use the chat. To close this chat window, you can hit the drop down arrow and you can either close it or you can pop it out of the window. I'm going to go ahead and close this. Another thing that you'll be able to do is see who else is there. And the easiest way I find to do that is by moving my mouse to Manage Participants. So you'll notice that I'm by myself. But the Manage Participants area gives you two different features. One is you can see everybody who's there. And if you're a host, you have control over whether you mute or unmute them. And also, if someone's calling in and all you're seeing is a phone number, you can rename that party just so you know who it is. As a participant, one of the nice things you can do is sometimes a host will ask you for a vote or a poll, and they'll tell you to go to participants and then click yes, no. Again, this is something that needs to be set up by whoever set up the schedule, but making sure that this is set up is really useful. So when you click on yes, you'll notice and everybody's going to be able to see that vote. If you want to change it, you can unclick yes and click no, and it'll show that as well. You can also let the speaker know whether you want them to go slower or go faster. So all you do is you just click on those buttons, and that'll tell the host that they want you to go slower or go faster. And then more allows you to give a dislike or a like or applause. A coffee break has typically been used for, hey, I'm stepping away for a moment in a lot of organizations. And then away is something that people use if they happen to have this Zoom on all the time, or if it's a very extended session, we'll have people ask them to put their away on just so that we know not to call on them. And then clear all allows you to clear out, if you're a host, everybody's vote. You can also, as a host, you can also mute and unmute all. Ask participants to rename themselves, and even set up a chime if your participant's window is not open, but you want to hear whether or not someone's come in. I'm going to go ahead and close that window. There's some other advanced features in here, but those are the fundamentals of participating in a meeting. I hope this helps.